This is the Ford E4OD transmission. Born at the Sharonville transmission plant in Ohio, this powerhouse was designed to haul the C6's legendary toughness into the modern age. E4OD wasn't just a warmed over version of old ideas, it was Ford's answer to a new world, where trucks had to tow campers, haul boats, climb mountains, and still cruise highways without bleeding your wallet dry at every pump. Howdy folks, Ed here. Welcome back to Bullnose Garage, and today we're talking about the E4OD transmission. True to its name, electronic 4-speed overdrive, this mechanical marvel packed overdrive, electronic controls, and a chance at better fuel economy into Ford's toughest trucks and SUVs, all while keeping the heavy-duty muscle Ford fans expected from the C6. But what's really going on inside this hulking aluminum-clad marvel? What's made it a hero for truck fans, a headache for mechanics, and a talking point at swap meets for over 30 years? Stick around as we unpack its history, tackle its quirks, and figure out why the E4OD still pulls its weight, and maybe, just maybe, why it deserves a spot under your truck. That is, if it's not already there.
Hello.
The E4OD hit the scene in 1989, just as the automotive world was shifting gears. Trucks weren't just workhorses anymore, they were daily drivers, highway cruisers, and everything in between. Ford needed a transmission that could deliver both towing power and modern efficiency, and this E4OD was their answer. Built on the foundation of the C6, Ford's legendary 3-speed automatic, it came with some major upgrades. By keeping the C6's rugged planetary gear set and beefy design, but adding an overdrive 4th gear, a lockup torque converter, and electronic controls, the E4OD bridged the gap between the C6's old school toughness and the modern features demanded by a new generation of Ford truck owners. Let's talk about the specs. The E4OD features 4 forward gears and reverse. The gear ratios are 2.71 to 1 in first, 1.54 to 1 in second, 1 to 1 in third, and 0.71 to 1 in fourth for highway-friendly overdrive. Reverse comes in at 2.18 to 1. It is a big, heavy-duty unit, tipping the scales at approximately 230 pounds dry. It holds between 17 and 18 quarts of transmission fluid when completely dry, with Mercon automatic transmission fluid recommended. But there's an important caveat regarding Mercon fluid, which I'll get to in a bit. Stay tuned for that. The case is made from aluminum to cut weight while staying durable. Early models came with cast iron tail shaft housings, but most later versions switched to aluminum to shave off even more weight. The lockup torque converter is a standout feature, built to boost efficiency by cutting slippage at cruising speeds. Unlike traditional torque converters that rely entirely on fluid coupling, the E4OD's lockup converter uses a clutch to form a direct mechanical link between the engine and the transmission. This cuts down on heat, boosts fuel economy, and makes the E4OD a dependable performer for towing and highway cruising. While it wasn't the first lockup design in the industry, its use in the E4OD was key to keeping durability front and center, making it a trusted choice for both commercial and personal trucks. For 1989, the E4OD's electronic controls brought a new level of sophistication to Ford's heavy-duty lineup. A transmission control module, or TCM, monitored inputs like throttle position, vehicle speed, and engine load to manage shift points, line pressure, and torque converter lockup. This level of adaptability made the E4OD more responsive and efficient no matter the conditions, keeping pace with the industry's move toward electronic transmission control. The E4OD was installed in a wide range of vehicles from 1989 to 1998. It was a staple in F-Series trucks, including the F-150, F-250, and F-350, as well as Broncos and E-Series vans. It was paired with a wide range of engines, from the dependable 300 inline 6 to the burly 460 big block and International Harvester's IDI diesels. To accommodate these engines, Ford produced the E4OD with distinct bell housing patterns: small block, big block, and diesel. This one here is a small block. The small block version works with engines like the 302, 351 Windsor, and the 306. The big block version fits the 460, while the diesel version is designed for engines like the 6.9 liter and the 7.3 liter IDI. While the big block and diesel bell housings might look similar, they have different bolt patterns and aren't directly interchangeable. Modifying one to fit another engine isn't a simple task. It requires significant machining and custom adapter plates. Unless you're a seasoned fabricator with the right tools, it's best just to use the correct bell housing for your engine to ensure proper alignment and operation. While the E4OD was primarily used in Ford's consumer trucks and vans, its robust design made it suitable for specialized commercial and industrial applications too. You'll find it in vehicles like ambulances, motorhomes, and shuttle buses built on Ford's E-Series and F-Series chassis. Its heavy-duty capabilities made it a popular choice for upfitted vehicles that required reliable performance under demanding conditions. Now let's talk about what this transmission does well and where it sometimes struggles. When it comes to strengths, the E4OD stands out for its durability and towing capacity. Built on the bones of the C6, it can handle a serious amount of torque. The Overdrive gear and lockup torque converter also made it a huge leap forward in fuel efficiency, especially for highway driving. Its Achilles heel? Overheating. That's why adding an auxiliary transmission cooler isn't just a good idea, it's a must if you plan to tow or haul. Another issue is solenoid pack failures. The good news, they're fixable. The bad news, diagnosing that problem can be tricky without the right tools. And then there's the oil pan. Surprise, surprise, the E4OD doesn't even have a drain plug. That means changing the fluid requires dropping the whole pan, which is messy and time consuming unless you know a handy trick, which I'll share in a bit. One of the E4OD's greatest perks wasn't even part of the original plan. It's highly compatible with parts from its successor, the Ford R100. Introduced in 1998, the Ford R100 refined and expanded on the E4OD's foundation, and many of its components can be retrofitted into an E4OD to boost performance and durability. Builders often swap in 4R100 clutches, prized for their strength and ability to handle higher torque loads. Solenoid packs and valve bodies from the 4R100 are also popular upgrades, offering more reliable shifting and better line pressure control. While these retrofits aren't rocket science for a skilled builder, they do demand close attention to compatibility, and sometimes even reprogramming the TCM to handle the upgrades. If gutting a 4R100 isn't your style, the E4OD boasts a full aftermarket ecosystem. Popular upgrades include high-performance valve bodies for firmer, more precise shifts and upgraded clutches built to handle extreme horsepower and torque. Torque converters are another key upgrade. Aftermarket models offer higher stall speeds for performance builds or heavy-duty designs for towing and off-road use. To keep things cool, many builders opt for deep transmission pans that boost fluid capacity and come with built-in cooling fans. Plus, they typically come with a pre-installed drain plug, a major win for easier maintenance. Advanced controllers like the US Shift, formerly Baumann OptiShift, lets you fine-tune shift points, line pressure, and torque converter lockup, giving you total control over your transmission's behavior. When it comes to maintenance, the E4OD's lack of a drain plug on the oil pan, like I mentioned before, can be a real headache. Dropping the pan to change the fluid is messy and time-consuming. However, there is a method to make the process cleaner. You can disconnect the return line from the transmission cooler and direct it into a container. Start the engine briefly, and the transmission's internal pump will push the fluid out through the line. But here's the catch. You need to set the engine off before the fluid flow stops completely to avoid running the pump dry, which can cause serious damage. Refill the pan and repeat until the fluid coming out looks clean. While this method helps refresh much of the fluid, it doesn't replace all the old fluid in the system. For a complete flush, it's best to have it done professionally, and for long-term convenience, adding a drain plug to the bottom of the pan is a worthwhile upgrade. E4OD was originally designed to use Mercon automatic transmission fluid. However, it's crucial to note that starting in the late 1990s, Ford introduced Mercon 5, a synthetic blend with different friction characteristics. But here's the catch. Mercon 5 is not backward compatible. Hold up, wait a minute, wait just a second, I gotta explain something. You'll be back in just a second. Now, about the whole Mercon versus Mercon 5 debacle, it's a bit of a soap opera in the transmission world. Back when Ford introduced Mercon 5 in '97, They explicitly told everyone, do not use this in transmissions that require Mercon. That included our trusty E4OD. Using Mercon 5 back then could mess up your transmission shifting and cause all sorts of headaches because the friction characteristics were different. So, the avoid Mercon 5 like the plague mantra started. And for good reason. Fast forward to 2006, and Ford throws us a curveball. They decide to discontinue Mercon and announce that Mercon 5 is now the recommended fluid for all applications that previously used Mercon, including the E4OD. No big reformulation announcement, no flashy new label, not even a new name, just a quiet technical service bulletin saying, hey, Mercon 5 is fine now. You can imagine the confusion this caused. Enthusiasts, mechanics, and builders were left scratching their heads, wondering if they should trust the new guidance or stick with what they knew. So here is the straight talk. According to Ford, you can use Mercon 5 in your E4OD. But I get it. Old habits die hard, and myths stick around. If you're picking up an E4OD from a junkyard, or you're unsure of its history and you want to play it safe, using a fluid that meets the original Mercon specification won't hurt. Products like Valvoline Dex Merc automatic transmission fluid are designed to be compatible with transmissions that require Mercon. Just look for fluids that state they're suitable for Mercon applications. Using a quality fluid like this ensures you're keeping the E4OD running smoothly without venturing into Mercon 5 territory if you're uncomfortable with it. Always remember, using the correct fluid is key to your transmission's health, so taking this extra step ensures you're doing right by your rig. But if you want to follow Ford's updated guidance, Mercon 5 is officially approved. Rebuilding the E4OD is more challenging than working on older automatics like the C6 or C4. The electronics add complexity, and getting the end play just right is absolutely critical. This requires precise tools like a dial indicator because even minor errors can lead to premature wear or failure. A professional rebuild can cost anywhere from $2,000 to $4,000 depending on parts and labor. For builders tackling this job themselves, patience and access to the right tools are key. Now, let's talk about why someone might choose the E4OD for a build or why they might pass it. The E4OD is a powerhouse of transmission. It's built to handle high torque loads, making it a top contender for builds that demand durability. If you're building something like a tow rig, a heavy-duty hauler, or even an off-road rig, the E4OD can take the abuse. Its electronically controlled overdrive gear adds versatility, sparing you the agony of screaming down the highway in low gear. And with its strong aftermarket support, you can upgrade the internals, add a standalone controller, or install a larger cooler to make it even more capable. But it's definitely not the perfect fit for every application. The E4OD is big, heavy, and complex. If you're working on a lightweight street car like a Mustang or a pure performance build where quick shifts are critical, you might want to consider something like a built C4 or C6, a 4R70W, or even a Power Glide. They're simpler, lighter, and tailor-made for fast, high RPM shifts. Plus, the E4OD's size can complicate custom projects. It might take some serious tunnel mods to make it fit smaller vehicles. So, while the E4OD excels in high-torque, multi-purpose builds, other options don't shine it when raw speed or simplicity is the goal. But hey, if you want the bragging rights of cramming a monster transmission into a Fox body, go for it. I won't stop you. Although the E4OD was replaced by the 4R100 in 1998, its legacy lives on. Many of the 4R100's improvements are direct evolutions of the E4OD's design. For truck enthusiasts, this transmission remains a popular choice for retrofits, restorations, and even some high-torque drag racing builds like diesel truck racing. Its mix of durability and modern features makes it a solid candidate for upgrading older vehicles or giving newer ones a performance edge. So, what's the bottom line? The E4OD is more than just a transmission. It's a milestone in Ford's engineering evolution. Whether you're restoring a classic, building a tow rig, or just trying to understand what's under your truck, the E4OD delivers a fascinating blend of old school toughness and modern tech. If you've got an E4OD sitting on a pallet, like I do, don't think of it as a relic. It's an opportunity waiting to be unleashed. Whether you're selling it, swapping it, or upgrading it, this transmission has a story worth telling and a future worth building. So there you go, guys. That's everything that I know, or pretend to know, about the Ford E4OD transmission. I just so happen to have this one here as a visual aid for you guys that I just got done pulling from my donor chassis with my 351 Windsor engine. So yeah, there it is. If you learned something, like I did doing this video, guys, give me a like and a subscribe. It really helps me out. Go grab yourself a really cool hat from my merch store. That helps me out too. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, gripes, internet ramblings, if I got something wrong, drop it in the comments and let me know. And as always, thanks again for watching, guys. We will see you next time.
She's rough around the edges, but she's doing fine. Tinkering away, getting things to shine. At Bullnose Garage, she's considered divine. Thanks again for watching. We will see